So I'm closer to you. Can I take this? Yeah. Cool. So before I give each of you a question, I do want to share, I looked it up, that you working in Pakistan State Oil and you working in Agro Fertilizers, as of like 2024, I saw that only 14% of the women in Pakistan are in the industrial sector or like manufacturing and all. So kudos to you, you are one of them. So, and also the previous panelists as well who are working in these industries. Let's hope we can get the percentages up soon as well. So yes, bias for work, for women at work. So Nida, let's start with you. If you can maybe share what are the most common biases that women face in workplaces? And I want to add both conscious as well as unconscious.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, for starters. Look, when we're talking about biases, and the common term that we normally hear is conscious and unconscious, they're also known as implicit and explicit biases, right? कुछ ऐसे होते हैं जो हम, while we're growing up, we develop that and we learn that. हम बड़े हो रहे होते हैं, सुबह से काफ़ी discussion इस पे हुई है, so I'm not going to repeat. But things that we are conditioned कि अगर लड़की है तो sales की नौकरी शायद नहीं करे, right? And this is a very unconscious thing that we pick up on, and so on and so forth, right? So that's one. When we get into the workspace, we realize a lot of these things are still there, even though you've seen women now, doing amazing things, going, into space and riding motorbikes and doing all the things which are, which has nothing to do with competence, but more so confidence, or has not been done over the years. अब ये सब कुछ होने के बावजूद भी, we still notice that there are these biases that are not just restricted to men. They're not the ones who are creating these biases only.
Yes.
Women also have these biases for other women. इसके बच्चे छोटे हैं, इसको आप involve ना करें. She may not be able to put in longer hours. If somebody is in an audit job, for example, that, or in finance, and there's a closing that's going to happen, generally आप notice करेंगे कि उसमें ये होगा कि, she has to stay longer hours, and a lot of that creeps into our interview processes also. ये हो जाता है explicit, कि जब वैसे तो उसूलन, and the lawyers here in this room would agree that officially during interviews you're not supposed to ask the marital status, you're not supposed to ask all these other things, but we tend to ask, and we tend to slip in this question.
Yes.
Okay, we don't, feel free to not answer, but what's your family situation like? And वहाँ से हमारी stereotyping और हमारे biases creep in कर जाते हैं. And there's a long list of examples that we can talk about as we go through the conversation.
Yeah, that's true, and sorry, it's true. I think like women also internalizing all of these things and then projecting them on other women has to change. And I think hopefully sessions like these can help with that. So now the opposite of that, like what's happening with this? Okay, so I'm gonna come to you. Like, can you like share examples where women have broken these stereotypes?
Yeah, so
Sorry, yeah,
did
you get the question.
Get your question. So I'm
Yep.
going to give a few examples. Before I go over there, I would like to congratulate you on being in this event. And I won't call you lovely ladies. I'll call you smart, brilliant, and intelligent ladies who are here. Because I think this is the first internalized bias that we grow up. We call our sons smart, and we call our girls beautiful. So that's where we start thinking that my face is more important, and the other person, our brother, starts thinking that my brain is more important. So that's probably the first bias which comes in. So starting on the question, which has been very nicely put by my colleague here, see, it's hard to break stereotypes. We all know that. But yes, there is being good work done here and there. I'll start off with the STEM education itself, because I come from a manufacturing sector, and we do have to hire a lot of engineers. And when we go to the universities, either there aren't enough engineers, or if they are not ready to work in a manufacturing sector. And that is because of the unconscious biases that girls have themselves, that A, this job is not for them. It's going to involve a lot of physical labor maybe. B, it's a place where there's going to be a lot of men, and probably logistically this is not going to be a good job for me. So in order to remove this bias, a lot of organizations are working. I would like to give example of STEM Safir, which is a program which is run under Malala Yousafzai's organization, and they're going into schools to start early with girls, that what are the alternate career opportunities which are there for girls to take up. You go to these schools, even the government-run schools, and the first question you ask the girls, they would want to be doctors, which is a very sweet ambition, but we all know that they're all not going to make it. They may take pre-engineering or pre-medicine, but they won't make it. So you show them that DAE is another route, BTech is another route which they can take and come and make their living. So that's on a broader scale. If I come to my own organization, we've done some big steps. One of the CEOs that I worked with, he always used to say that we have to take sandwich approach. If you want to increase women in numbers, then you have to work on the positions on the ground. And if you want to have more women in the organization overall, then you have to induct more women in the leadership and decision-making positions. So 3 examples I'd give. Number 1 is the Thar dump truck program, which Anglo Energy ran, where we trained local Thari women in driving the coal trucks, and they're still doing it. It was a huge step for us, making those local Thari women drive. So yeah, that's the one thing. The second one is the forklift driving program, which was done by Anglo Polymers. Again, there was a lot of bias that, how is a woman going to drive a forklift? Although it's a simple driving a forklift, there's no involvement of physical power, you just need to have the right skill set. So we broke that barrier. We trained 22 women on forklift operations, and some of them are now employed as well. In talking about the senior positions, we have some brilliant CFOs who have come from Anglo, have gone to other industries as well, and I'm sure in this room as well, there would be a lot of women who would be from the finance background. So I feel these are a few examples that I would want to quote. And especially on the last one of the CFOs that we had, when she was being promoted to the position of CFO, she was expecting, right? So she was in her 3rd month of pregnancy. And she's telling her story that she got a bit flustered that, oh my God, if I tell this, will they take this position away from me? Will I still get this position? Finally, she had the courage and she went up to the CEO and told him that, this is my situation. And he said, yes, I know. And that's okay. So, if we have more leaders like that, then definitely we can break these biases. You can use this.
Thank you so much. And also, I think that also deserves a round of applause, the initiatives. Oh my God. So my nephew is currently obsessed with forklifts and dump trucks. And so we think that's a boys thing, but it's not. Let's change that. So thank you for sharing that. And okay, so again, although these steps are being taken, I think there's still a long way to go, and this is where we're starting. But what about the situations that we could face in a workplace directly? What if, say, for example, you are in a workplace and you're being undervalued compared to your male counterpart? Say if that's you're being paid less, statistics show that, or it's just that your opinion is not being considered at all. So how would you say, what are key tips or practical steps that we can actually take to tackle this in a workplace, Nida?
Sure, I think for starters, it has to start with your own self. Baz dafa, as women, when we're working, regardless of whatever level you're working on, we do tend to go through imposter syndrome. That's very common, right? And again, statistics and research shows that especially women in leadership have to go through that. अब ये होता कैसे है कि हम सेल्फ डाउट में बहुत होते हैं क्योंकि हमें हर दफ़ा ये लगता है that we may or may not be able to do a certain thing. हमें बताना, जिस तरह अभी गुल ने बताया, बताना चाहिए या नहीं बताना चाहिए, that we're at a different stage of life. Now all of these things then create this facade where you're supposed to put up a strong front, or a front which is not really authentic or depicting of who you really are and what you feel it.
Totally, yeah.
Now if I was to kind of take a step back into some practical things that can happen, right? तो सबसे पहले तो जब आप ये देखें कि इस तरह की कोई चीज़ हो रही है, you need to be aware of the fact that there are biases that exist, and that holds true for anything. इससे थोड़ी देर पहले हमने harassment की भी बात की, and all the other topics that we're talking about. It is super important to first have that level of awareness कि biasness होती क्या है. क्या ऐसे है कि हम वो bias खुद कर रहे हैं? Are we practicing it? Are we sort of judging other women that we're working with, other men folks that we're working with? That's for one.
Yeah.
If you see it happen, then are you calling it out? That's the most critical thing. Because again, it can start with a very basic unconscious bias जो हर जगह होता है या होना नहीं चाहिए लेकिन होता है. But it has its roots which probably end up somewhere in bullying and harassment as well.
Yeah.
Because somewhere you will never speak up and you will always continue to doubt and question your own abilities, जो कि एक दूसरा बड़ा मसला बन जाता है. The third thing is that if you're a woman in the organization, especially if you're on a leadership level, तो ये आपकी जिम्मेदारी है, and I repeat that it is your responsibility as a woman leader to make sure that other women in the organization are not going through that. You need to have that level of influence. जैसे आपने pay scales की या wages की बात की, and if this is global research, that means it's not just a problem restricted to Pakistan or the subcontinent.
Yeah.
It is a global issue, right?
It is.
And the easiest way of addressing it is to have that camaraderie amongst, or have that, that womanhood going together.
Yeah.
Have that code between each other to understand that we need to support each other, and we will call it out अगर हमें नज़र आता है.
Yeah.
जो unconscious bias है, जो कि हम सब में किसी ना किसी subliminal level पे है, उस पे एक दूसरे को educate करना. थोड़ी देर पहले हिमरा was talking about sensitization trainings, which I feel are so important, yet they're given the least amount of focus in majority of the organizations.
Yeah.
क्योंकि it is just another session जो HR ने कराया है, and that's about it. और
True.
उस session के बाद there is no practice, there is no measure, there is no discussion around it. It does not become a part of your narrative in the organization. It does not become a part of the language that you're using. And it's just not your way of life or your DNA जिस तरह से आप operate करते हैं अपने business as usual में.
Yeah.
And last but not the least, I feel कि again there was a very similar discussion that happened this morning, was that I'll make your male colleagues your allies. इसमें मैं ये नहीं कह रही कि we need to make sure that they're there to protect you. I would say that they're there to also understand that this could potentially be happening to their sisters, their spouses, their mothers, and all the other women who are in the workspace and also outside of the workspaces जहाँ ये biases exist करते हैं. क्योंकि the same men go home, the same men are raising daughters, the same men either give their spouses the confidence or not, or break you down, क्योंकि ये norms हैं society के as of now, fortunately, unfortunately. But these men need to be educated and sensitized also.
Yeah.
And just speak up for yourself when you see these, and be aware कि आप खुद क्या कर रहे हैं. Self-doubt is your enemy. It's okay to feel less prepared, but it is not okay to doubt your capabilities.
Totally. Yes. And I think I did notice, like, although this is oh, yes. A great event and like women only, and I love that. But hopefully next time we can have more, males join as well, and they should be a part of this conversation as well. So for sure, and then you mentioned again allyship and more women in leadership roles. So Gul, I'm going to come to you, and I think both of you have been in leadership roles. So personally, did you have to deal with any prejudices, any biases against you? Were you taken seriously in a leadership role? And also, I think there's this actress, America Ferrera, who in an interview says that when I'm in a leadership role, I am always called bossy. But if a man is in a leadership role, he's just a boss that everyone has to listen to. So why is that? And have you ever have to deal with something like this?
Yeah, great question, I must say. Because I feel language plays a very important role when it comes to the workplace. In the way you've given an example that if a woman is doing it, oh, she's bossy. And may I dare to use the word H with a capital B when she's being assertive. When a man is doing that, oh, he's just a great leader. He knows how to rally the support. And he has that personality, that attitude, and all that jazz. And the biases really start at the very early stage of your career, right? It's not just in the leadership. So I'll give a personal example from when I was youngish. I'm still young, so I use the word youngish.
We're all forever young. We're all forever young.
So. Sitting on a table, it was senior leaders with me, and I said something. Everybody ignored them. 2 minutes down the lane, a senior leader says the same thing. And everybody's like, wow, what a brilliant idea. And I was like, oh, hold on, I just said it a couple of minutes ago. And it was like, they all started making fun of me. They were like, ha, 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 it's not like somebody's stealing your thunder.
Oh, wow.
So, again, downplaying the entire thing. So these biases really start at the very early stage of your career. And then they go all the way up to the leadership position. I would talk less about these biases. We all know about them. Let's talk how to get over them, right? How to deal with them. So would quote a few facts. We all know that in Pakistan, only 3 to 5% women are CEOs, right? Women on an average get only 20% feedback or mentorship as leaders as compared to men. These are glaring facts and figures. So what can we do about them? Number one, reframing the biases that are thrown on you. So if somebody tells you that, oh my